Hello everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the next video. In the previous video, we did a basic curves and a basic shapes exercise, which was not very fun, but it's quite good practice to learn, to get a feel for the basic shapes, but I wouldn't spend too much time on it. So that's why we're going to take it to the next logical step, and we're going to do an exercise which will help us identify basic shapes in the things we want to draw. So let's get started. And here we have two images which I've downloaded from Pexels. You can use this as an exercise, or if you prefer, you can use any other reference image which you find yourself online. And next to the image, I'm going to draw the basic shapes I see. First, I see an oval up here, so let's draw that. It's really messy and rough. It doesn't really matter. It's mostly about proportions. It's mostly, and we want to get the proportions right relative to each other. So here I have a rectangle, and it obviously has like a curved bottom, like a half oval. And naturally we have a semicircle here. And these are the basic shapes in the image. So once we've drawn the basic shapes, just press, if you're on Krita, you can press Ctrl T for transform. Depending on which graphics software you're using, it might be different, but on Krita it's Ctrl T. And I'm going to scale it, and I'm going to make sure to hold down Shift to keep the aspect ratio right. And here we have, you see the basic shapes. The proportions are right. They're pretty good. I think it's pretty good. I mean, I was trying this yesterday, to be honest, and I got it completely wrong the first time. But this time I got it quite good the first time. But if you're not satisfied, then look at the mistakes you made. Here, for example, it could be just a tad wider. This oval could be just a little narrower or not so high. So I'm going to try it again. Just try it over and over again and try to correct the mistakes you made. And the more often you do it, the better you will get at it. Remember, the goal is not to be perfect, especially now. The goal is simply to put the practice in. So if you do a terrible job, but you put half an hour practice in, then you still achieved your goal. Because the next time you try, you'll be better at it. Let's see if I did a better job or a worse job than last time. Oh, I did a worse job. It's too narrow. So if I try it again, I have to make it a bit wider. So if you are having a hard time and you're getting frustrated, then there's two things you can do to make your life a little easier. So the first thing you can do is, before you draw it next to, you can draw it immediately on top. And then you get a feel for the basic shapes. And then you just examine it and then say, okay, you get a much better idea of what the basic shapes are if you do it on top first. The second thing you can do, just start by drawing a bounding box. So just imagine there's like a box surrounding the shape, like a rectangle. You've got your basic rectangle, and you just start simply by trying to get the width to height ratio right. And then you check yourself and you're like, okay, that's pretty good. Now that you've got the width to height ratio right, you move it back and you draw what's inside. So I can see that this is about 1/4. So you do like a kind of a 1/4 thing here. And this side it's the same. And then you got just a tad down here. So it's already a good exercise to draw the bounding box. And once you have the bounding box right, then it makes drawing the relative proportions of the different details inside much easier. So let's check. Awesome. After you're more or less satisfied with this cup, I mean, like I said, you don't have to be perfect, but if you get bored of drawing the cup, move on to this puppy. So this puppy is much more challenging to find the basic shapes. But one thing to bear in mind is we're not trying to pay attention to details. We're trying to pay attention to really only the basic shapes. So here, as you can see, I got it quite wrong. I made the face far too narrow, but that's okay. Getting it wrong, because you get it wrong, you're like, what did I do wrong? I made it too narrow. So I'm gonna try again. And this time I'm just gonna make it a little wider. Yeah, I made it far too narrow. I've made it even narrower. Yeah, I made it even narrower than last time. Okay, I'm just gonna continue like that until I'm satisfied. And as I correct myself, that's the best exercise. So just focus not on getting it right, but focus on finding the mistakes you made, finding the improvements you would like, and then try again. And just keep trying either until you're satisfied and then find a new picture, or until the time runs out, in which you can pat yourself on the back like, yeah, I tried and I got better. Tomorrow I'm going to try again. You can do more than half an hour, of course, if you want to. The more you practice, the better you get. Yeah. So that's all. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.